Hi everybody, today let's take a look at the contrast paints by Citadel Games Workshop and how I've used them for the most part for the Hellboy figs, and tell you a little bit about my thoughts on the contrast paints. Alright, when they came out and you could get they say you can get nice looking results pretty quickly, I got excited because I have a lot of games. I have Hellboy, Mythic Battles Pantheon, some Zombicide stuff that I don't really want to play unless the figs are painted, and that's just not how I roll. So with the contrast paints, we're able to get things painted quickly, and at a level that where it's tabletop quality basically, and it's good. People walk by and go, "Oh, those are nice figs," and well, there you go. It beats just plain gray plastic or just primer stuff. But anyway, okay. Well, the first one I have is Ilsa Von Ellstein, and I wasn't really confident in my in using the contrast paints. So I did base coats, but I kind of didn't like the way it looked, so I just kind of paint over them with regular paints in my regular style. Still was faster, but the flesh tones and the hair were strictly contrast paints, and I think it came out. Now I know the official Ilsa fig is she's all in black with gray fur, but I thought the red, the dark red, was a little more interesting, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember where I saw a figure like this wearing red instead of black, and then it dawned on me it was from the Dust Tactics game. I think her name is Sigrid. She even has those same little side headdress that she's wearing, and I think this figure is close to her. But anyway. The flesh tones were strictly contrast. I maybe touched up a little bit with contrast, and the base is just I got some of this Liquitex coarse texture paste, and I just put that on there, and it's a little cheaper than the the Games Workshop Agrax technical paints or texture paints, and I'm a cheap bastard, so that kind of worked out for me. So here's Ilsa, and then I decided to go next with Big Red himself. I even did the eyes on this, and once again, I started with the contrast, and I kind of didn't like the way it came out, so I just kind of went over it with just did it regularly. Except for the cross on the rosary, I painted it white, and then I believe I used Agros, and I kind of made a metal, a non-metallic metal thing out of it, and I did the eyes on this one. They're a little. Let's see, it's a little subtle. But I have trouble with eyes, and I think for the Liz Sherman one that I'm working on right now, I might just paint the eyes yellow like she's in her trance. And here's the back. I have to touch it up a little bit. I got some gold paint where it shouldn't have been, and there you go. Here's the I did the where the arms cut off. I did that in black. And I'm gonna need to maybe touch up the base a little bit, because when I sprayed the sealer on it, it kind of took up some. There was some white primer on the bottom, and it just kind of got picked up. Okay, next up we have the Wild Evil Turkey, and this one I pretty much used mostly contrast. I used a darker for the main feather, for the main breast part. I used a darker contrast paint, and then I thinned it with the medium, and it kind of came out this kind of brown. And then I like the way the giblets turned out, and I did a black, let's see if I can get it in focus. I did a black or a dark gray, basilicanum gray for the neck and the giblets, and then I went over it with a purple. You can't really see it, but it's a subtle effect. And I'm kind of learning, here's the back. And I'm kind of learning, how to use, the limits of the contrast paints. Okay, and then we have the Lobster Johnson. This is one of my favorite ones. I used the Black Templar, and then I kind of went over it with the gray dry brush. I believe I used the Citadel dry brush, and I like the way his face came out. Now, one of the things I really liked, and it was kind of a pleasant surprise, was I used the Ayenden yellow just flat out on the goggles. I did white on the goggles, base coated it white, and then put the Ayenden contrast paint on there and on the gog lenses. And those goggles are neat. I really it's kind of the way that they look in the comics in a way. And that was one pleasant surprise with the contrast paints. I was able to do that. And then here's the regular fig. I messed up the face, and it came out okay. I mean, really, what can you do with an all black figure with a lobster claw on his chest? Okay, and then let's do Abe. Abe, I'm going to need to just do a little touch up on the regular figures. I didn't really see where there were white spots, and it's kind of messy. Need better lighting, I guess. But I did like the way his little vest came out. You can kind of see the BPRD. These are great casts, by the way. But I'm gonna, the face is kind of, or the head's kind of not, the contrast wore off, and I just got to touch it up. But I am pleased with the bust, and I like the way the eyes came out. I used the turquoisey contrast paint, and then I used the dark blue for the eyes. I might kind of like even one eye seems a little lighter than the other. I might put another coat on there. And I like the way the badge came out. And then for the part, I didn't paint black. I painted his fishman color on the bottom of the arms where the bust cuts out. And then here's the back. I might do a little touch up on that white area with the BPRD logo, but I might not. And then this fig, this was the first one I did totally with contrast, and it's my favorite character. I kind of wanted to wait a little bit. You got Kate Corrigan, and apparently Kate, she's drawn to look like Mike Mignola's wife, and she kind of looks like the non-gaming unicorn in a way. But I totally used only contrast on this. I think I used snakebite leather for the jacket, and militarum green for the green for her green pants, and I used a 50-50 wash of guillemot flesh with the medium for the face and the skin, and I tried on the other BPRD agents, Bud Waller or Bud, the guy named Bud. I used Dark Oath. I thinned down some Dark Oath with the in a 50-50 mix with the medium, and I kind of like that skin tone a little better. This is one of my favorite figs of all time. One of my favorite characters in Hellboy and all the comics. And then finally, and here's the frog miniatures. Last but not least. And I still have to seal them, and I put them on a stick. But I just used Plague Bearer flesh on white, then Basilicanum gray on the base, and I kind of left it a little murky just to kind of give on the non-froggy part of the base. I just kind of made it a little blotchy just to give it a little interest. And well, there you go. And I like the way it kind of came out. They look like a special, a weird species of frogs. I was thinking, maybe I can go in and pick some out, pick a frog here or a frog there with, maybe the athletic blue or darker green. But I decided not to because I like the way that this came out. So anyway, these are my Heckboy figs that I've done so far. Maybe I'll do some more, as I finish them. I'm working on Baba Yaga. Let's see, I'm working on Roger the Homunculus, the BPRD agents, and the tentacle one, and what's the villain? The Hecate. I'm working on her, or Hecate, or Hecate, however you want to spell it or pronounce it. And I'm working on those figs, and then I might show those off when I'm finished. When I finish them, I'm also kind of, my main focus right now is on Hellboy, so I can get all the figs done and play the game. I'm also working on some of the Mantic figs for the Walking Dead All Out War, and these contrast paints really work well for those. And also I'm almost finished with Atlas for Mythic Battles Pantheon. I kind of wanted to try and see if they would work for different games, but just to kind of see what I could do. But then now I'm gonna just kind of maybe finish up Hellboy. Oh, and the Nazis. I'm working on Nazi figs, and so I'm really looking forward to playing Hellboy. I've been reading the Hellboy comics, and right now I'm on the BPRD Plague of Frogs Volume 4, so I'm going to finish out that storyline. Then I'm going to maybe start in with Lobster Johnson. And well, there you go. So what do you think? How are you doing on contrast paints or with Hellboy? Comments below, subscribeth, and give me a hearty thumbs up. I got a couple new subscribers. I think I'm up to like almost 70, if not 70, and we're gonna take over the world. Thanks for watching. Bye now.